Thank you. So, beneath the mirror, she's gonna have to clean this mic after because I'm getting all my lipstick up on it. I'm sorry. I apologize to the sound guy. So as you can tell from that poem, a lot of my poems are about my identity, how I thought about my body in the world, how I try to move through the world, and like I said, about questions. And it is Black History Month, and I'm so excited that I was chosen to be the feature for this, because this is my deal. This is literally the stuff I love doing, is talking about how I'm thinking through identity, talking with others about how they think through identity. As Daniel mentioned, I run an event called POC Talk, which is centered on people of color sharing their stories and speaking about their experiences in the world. So to be able to do this kind of event was just like, fucking right. This is exactly what I want to be doing here in Kingston these days. So I'm especially excited to be the Black History Month feature. And this next poem particularly deals with issues around raciality, experiences of racism. I don't know if anyone has heard the term microaggressions. Who's familiar with that? Let's show yeah. Okay, good number of you, okay. And to those who do not know, microaggressions are issues in which one experiences oppression, and really just day-to-day experiences when you're just kind of moving through the world and you're like, fuck, I mean, you didn't have to use that gendered slur. and it affects you, it kind of gets you down. And so this poem I wrote after an experience of a microaggression, which kind of became macro, because I wrote a poem about it, so clearly extended a little, but had to do with my feelings around basic interactions and really day-to-day interactions that can begin to feel violent and eventually make you write really intense poems about them. And this poem's called Buying History. He joked once at a party that my skin was kind of dark. And he said that he hoped that when we met at summer's end that the copper blush that bronzed my body was mostly just a tan. And where was I from to keep such a complexion even in winter months? And if he'd stopped there, he could have been forgiven, but he rolled onwards like a wayward tumbleweed, weaving his tale of colonial fame and claiming that he had known Africa since he'd been to its heart. But his heart of darkness was nothing more than a rip-off, the recycled pages of another xenophobe. He was trying to play himself off as Joseph Conrad 2.0. But you see, I carry my African heart, not at the stern of a boat, but in the sternum under my throat. My ancestors didn't bleed blue like you, they bled red through black skin, but for him, history could be bought with a gold card. He saw green in the dirt plots of that continent, but not that of the grass, but he still asked if he could at least lean to the other side. He still compared his history to slavery. He believed that you could purchase adventure and then call it bravery. He wanted his whiteness to be a get-out-of-jail-free card, and then he did. On so many occasions. And he couldn't grasp why he was blockaded. Couldn't see that the melanin in our bodies can't be excavated. Hard as he tried, you can't find Malcolm X or B.B. King in an archaeological dig, but he wanted to be king of a mutinous castle. Wanted to be Lion of the Pride, but couldn't hide that he was just a wolf in sheep's clothing, just a joker playing prince, just a dwarf dressed as a giant. You see, my foremothers were those mammoths he took as meek. He forgot that a past means survival, and that history means life, and that the strife of a people cannot be adopted like a stray cat. Cannot be plucked from its mound, but he had circled Jerusalem and thought that that meant he'd weathered Ezra by the pound. His jet-setting message was paper-mache and Benjamins and bigotry trimming the tails of his jacket, and maybe I should have lifted the veil. Should have heralded him with 1,000 lines of anger. Maybe I should have divided the shore and the sea. Maybe I should have shown him those dollar signs on his dirty knees, or maybe I should have just told him my skin is just as dark as it fucking should be.